Hi, it's Mordecai here again. I'm so pleased that you're watching this journaling, and today I'm going to share with you a funny story with my niece later on. Now let's jump to first Chronicles chapter 12, verse 22 and 23. Let me read that to you. Day after day, more men joined David until he had a great army, like the army of God. These are the numbers of armed warriors who joined David at Hebron. They were all eager to see David become king instead of Saul, just as the Lord had promised. Today's theme is man's heart are made eager only by God, not by our hand. The funny thing is, we got to understand the background about how God promised David to become the second king, and God is going to abandon Saul because he worshipped the medium, he consulted medium instead of the living God, just like last journaling we talked about. But now let's focus on today's theme, how God can change people's heart. The funny story about my niece is we always had a little quarrel about tidying up at home. Since she was a kindergarten little student, she has been living with me due to some family reason. And I really appreciated her presence in our family. And when she was in primary school, sometimes she just leave her school book somewhere and couldn't find it, and she cried. Of course, as uncle, I just brought her to God and said a little prayer, and all the time, like up to 5 or 10 times, I couldn't remember that God answered her prayer to find whatever notebook, mathematics, the school book that she didn't know where she put it. That's her habit. It's inborn. It's just her style of, being so carefree, leaving things everywhere. But in contrast, God made me a very tidy, organized person. I just want things to go back to where we took it, and later on we can find it easily without being under pressure and feeling annoyed to find it out, especially in a hurry. But throughout the past 17 years or so, I have been trying to kind of change or suggest her, now she is 17 by the way, suggest her to, can you please put back the thing where they came from so that next time it's easy to find them? And you know what? That surprised me. She answered, why care? Just leave it. That's a style. Why bother tidying? Oh my goodness. Now, that's the fun bit of you trying to change the other person by yourself. Is it easy? Have you been trying hard? Have you been rejecting, being disappointed that you couldn't in any way? Now let's go back to today's theme. Man's heart can be made eager, can be changed by God. So let's say a blessing to the one you want to change beforehand. Let's instead ask God to change our perspective, our understanding. In my example with my niece, can I be a little bit carefree just to go with the flow of my niece and just ask God to help her organize a bit? My standard of tidying place is here, like the 5S system. And her carefree is down there. So when I pray for God to change my heart to, be more lenient, easygoing, okay, 10 items, 5 items can go back, or I can just help out without asking her and help her out to tidy up. And I just can pray also, God can raise her standard of tidying her academic things, the home stuff, the thousands of stuff, the girlish things. So our difference might before be like one up in the sky and one down on the soil, and we can go become closer. The closer our common understanding is, the less argument would arise every day. And that's the light I gladly receive from God throughout today's journaling. That's all for today, and I'm so glad to share not only the golden verse, its story background, and the daily application, and also personal story. And I hope to see your comment. And if you like your friends to receive the light, revelation, and wisdom from the Book of Wisdom, I know that you know what to do. You can decipher the hand gesture. I believe you're a wonderful viewer. And let's move on to tomorrow's hope, because hope is waiting for us there. Shalom. See you then.